Good morning, and thank you for stopping by Healing Conversations with Z, Missouri BB. I want to thank the people who have come to my channel, have made comments and things like that. Even the even the inappropriate comments that whatever the little bot thing is coming. I'm appreciative of that. I mean, every comment helps my channel move up a little bit, so I'm appreciative of that, even though it's coming from a negative. So I'm hoping that things will balance out. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling some kind of way. I had actually said on my channel a few days ago that something was in the air, and sure enough, it was. In the community, some things have been said by Sophia Charles, and I don't feel any negativity toward it. It was just kind of weird, and I'm not, I don't sell her program, so I don't, really understand that. I can't really. If I had programs to sell, and if I felt that it was being taken advantage of, I guess I would feel the way she does. Um, but other than that, I really don't have anything else to say about it. If The main thing for me, this is my belief. If you work on yourself, and I've been working on myself for a long, long, long time, not knowing I was working on myself. But if you work on yourself, abundance will come into your life. Now, if you're not doing it correctly, it won't be long standing or temporary, because now that I'm understanding um, from twin flame transformation, energy transformations, energy is constantly moving. I'm understanding that now. So whatever comes is not forever. The energy flows, emotions change, feelings change, the stars change. So I'm understanding that, and so just listening to her message, and especially knowing what's going on in the world right now, has a lot of emotions are heightened, and it's just a lot of it's very a lot of chaos. Let me just say it that way. So I'm just looking at things from that aspect. A few days ago, I spoke on these that I had my sacred geometry deck, and I had my new sacred geometry cards for the visionary path. And if you know, I started using this book over a year ago, or at least a year ago, probably. I'd have to look to see when I bought it. But this is the new book. This is the new deck, and this is the old deck. And I like this. This is a Taurus, and it has a lot of spirals of energy in it. And whereas this one looks like it's a lot of uh, what are these flowers called? Anyway, muddy situations. I'm looking at it because looking in the world, what was going on. There's all this energy going around in the world, because this is a circle, and it's affecting all the chakras. I see all these chakras colors here. And, lotus, that's what this flower is called. So it's a lot of muddy things going on in the universe right now. But I also see triangles, lots of them. And triangles, for me, the top is spirit, the bottom is masculine and feminine on a triangle. Top, down, masculine, feminine. Because normally on the tree of life, the source or Keter, source is at the top. And when you come to the first two spears, number 2 is masculine and number 3 is feminine. I think I got it right. I think that's how it goes. I could check and to confirm it. But those first 3, and that's that seems to be what's being affected right now. You know, sources just mixing things, you know, up in the universe, and it's spiraling out inward. Well, that's what you should do. You should be looking inward whenever. That, I think that's why is that with Sophia making the video, it caused me to go inward, to think about some things, think about me. What do I really want? Not that I wasn't thinking about it in that aspect, but do you want something because you want to impress somebody, or do you want something because you want to show off? Do you want something, or do you want something because you want to help people? For me, my main thing is helping people. I'm always wanting to help people. So, you know, listening to, you know, the video, it just, for me, it just made me more inclined to think about how can I on my own help people. And because you really don't have to be out front and center saying, oh, I'm helping people. You could do it in your own way. For me, more so, I'm in 3D. I help people in 3D more so than I do, you know, on the internet. And I've said that before on my channel as well. But I'm over here talking 6 minutes into this conversation, and I'm still talking. But on this new deck, this is the Sacred Geometry cards for the Visionary Path. I see a lot of what are these? See, I done went blank. It's a lot of stuff going on, but I see clouds. I see the sun. I see wishes, rainbows. You know, rainbows, but I see healing. And I see this Vesica Pisces too. This is some type of cycle here. So with this deck, I haven't really used this deck that much. And there is a mandala in here as well. So I'm kind of interested on what message is going to come from this deck. I'm going to use them by themselves for this reading, and I'm going to do a short reading because I have not used these cards in a while, and I need to go back and study the spheres and shapes because, like I said, it's been a lot. I've been delving into the other decks some of these decks over here that you've seen, but a lot of decks that I have that are not here. I'm asking for protection for the reading, that it be protected and no negative energy come out. I'm going to take these cards. So we got Dancing Prayer, and we have Luna and the Volcano. So lunar cycles, it has something with the moon, so there are some things happening. And with the Dancing Prayer, the way I'm looking at this is what's going on in the world right now. There are a lot of people dancing, praying. They're praying for peace and healing on the things that have been happening, that have been hidden, that are now coming into the light. And I'm saying that because here's this triangle again. There's source, masculine, and feminine energy. I'm seeing that, and then there's the seed of light, the food of light. There are all these plants inside here growing. But then again, this is all happening within cycles. So apparently there are some cycles that are coming to a head or that are being illuminated on a worldly scale, not on an individual scale. Anything else, since you're going to come out this way, I haven't used these cards in a while. I'll take, if you come out, I'll talk about you. I'll take you. Yeah. DNA. The trauma that's been going on in the world against people, not just, right now they're focusing on people of color, but The things that have been going on in the world have been ingrained in our DNA since the beginning. Since the beginning, there's been trauma. And I think when healing needs to take place, it needs to take place from the DNA stem, because if you don't clear it, it just migrates on to the next generation. And this is coming from messengers. This is coming from spirit guides. Spirit guides are saying you need to clear this negative energy that has been happening to us, because this is the flower. If we don't clear this flower of life, if you don't clear the DNA from this flower of life, it's going to sprout, it's going to grow, and then it's going to plant another seed, but the seed is still going to have negative energy. It's still going to have negative energy. It's still going to put that DNA, pass it on to the next generation. And so right now, there is an invitation from Spirit. There's an invitation to correct the wrongs of the past. And you know, a lot of people don't want to hear this, but this has been going on way before slavery. Even though we're saying, you know, in the United States, slavery, there has been dark energy in our DNA since the beginning of time. A lot of us are not religious per se, but Adam and Eve, you know, she ate the apple and caused that, and then we got Cain and Abel killing people, and from DNA from the beginning of time. But how can we fix this? How can we fix this? How can we take this out of our nucleus? How can we do this? How can this be healed? How can we heal what's going on? How can we heal for the dancing prayer? What's the message for the dancing prayer? We need healing waters. And the only way, you know, tears are healing waters. Tears are emotions. We need to get in tune with our emotions. Yes, they may be negative emotions, but they're still emotions, and you can heal those emotions. But you need to heal them all the way down to the DNA. You have to go all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. And what about this volcano? Luna and the volcano. A lot of cards fell out. And this says octomotion. Now when I see this, I see an octopus, and I actually see two octopus. Three actually. Yeah, three. But I see all these tentacles. And the one thing about octopus, they can do multiple things with all those tentacles. And I think what needs to happen is to enable this healing to take place in the world, is for us to be able to work together positively, and when we see the bad apples, you know, we have to diffuse the bad apples. See, this one looks like it's a bad apple because it's down here. So and this one looks like it's the bridge. Is and actually, so what I should say, let me change this. We need to balance it out, because this one's laying down here and this one's laying up here, but this one's spread out, and it's spread out in a way to separate the two. So, and you know, that's a message in itself of separating the two. And this one looks unhealthy. So you know, we need to find out who the unhealthy people are, the unhealthy entities, the unhealthy activities that are taking place that are affecting those. And we need to start working on the Trinity, which is source, masculine, and feminine energy. And working on our emotions to heal. Heart woman. This comes from, I look at this and I think of someone who's been praying, who's been looking at the world, who has inner guidance, inner knowledge. Her crown is lit up. And it's funny because this is a twin. I see these feathers, so this is a twin flame situation, and so as twin flames, we do have jobs to heal the world. We do, but we have to heal ourselves first, and we have to heal ourselves from our DNA. One more card that fell out. Spirit kin. This is deep. Because our spirit, we get the messages from our spirit kin, which I call ancestors, but it could be your ascended masters, it could be your spirit animal, it can be people from the past, it can be aliens, because like I've said on my channel, I relate to aliens. I've never seen this card before. But there is the moon right there. And it looks like they're beating a drum. So there's some type of activity, whether it may be chanting or, some type of, I don't want to say witchcraft stuff, but ceremony, that's the word. There are ceremonies to incite the ancestors to come. Some people call it witchcraft. I don't necessarily call it witchcraft. I call it having a conversation with your ancestors. Now, how can we get this healing with our DNA? Look at that. By purifying ourselves and meditation. Some people think meditation is like this person sitting cross-legged. For some people, that may be what they need to do. Some people walk, some people go and help others, some people go get massages so that they can totally relax themselves. There are different ways to meditate. It's not always just sitting cross-legged, as Sophia Charles says, cross-legged on a mountain. It's not always like that. Sometimes just taking a warm bath, go in your garden, because I garden, I take salt baths and things like that. And I consider that healing for me and purifying for me, because I know once I can get in tune and slow my mind down, I can mentally search for the things that need to be healed within myself. And by doing that, there's a lot of healing here. All these red hearts. Red is sacral, so you'll be healing a lot of sacral energy, and there's this sun in the background that will heal you as well. And not only will it heal you, people who have been traumatized, because a lot of this trauma has happened and it's embedded deep in our DNA. You're healing your yoni, your girl. You're healing your mind. You're healing your body. It's pretty much, this healing will facilitate all over your entire body. And then you have the sun here as well that will heal you as well. Wow. I see this. This is deep. It will protect you as well. When I do my morning prayers, I normally pray for the red hot flame to get rid of negativity. And what I see in this card is red hot flame here. And once I, of negativity of any people, places, or things, entities, anything, I ask for that. But then I ask for this white hot flame of protection to come in afterwards and to extend 20 feet in every direction. And it looks like that is what's happening here on this card. And because that's happening, you have the sun also, which gives you sunlight, which is healing, vitamin D, which is we need in order to remain healthy. And this goes all the way down into your DNA. Wow. So, mountain messengers. What did we have to say about these mountain messengers? Mountain messengers, I didn't even look at the numbers per se, but this is a 50, which is a 5, which is a change, and it's a wheel of light. And when this wheel of light happens, after you get this healing, this wheel of light will allow you to transform your chakra system and help you get in tune, get realigned within yourself. And I think that's part of what this prayer is about. This prayer is for us to get back in tune with who we really are supposed to be. And sometimes it's going to have to happen under when I see volcanoes, I think of eruptions, and under the moon. And so I think that's what's happening too, because since this situation with George Floyd, there's been a lot of moon cycles now, and even before that, but there's been a lot of moon cycles where things have been happening, but this time it's happening and it's erupting things, and it's this powers that be are trying to, the source is trying to get us to heal things down to the DNA. And this is the message from the messengers, that we need to heal this flower. This flower is damaged. It's damaged. Excuse me. This flower is damaged. It's damaged by the negativity that's out in the world right now, which is finally being shown the light. And I like that this card is yellow, because that's part of the solar. Looking at this color, it's the solar plexus, and that's where you show your strength. You stand with your chest up, so your chest can be up. Whereas in the past people have been made to slump down, and part of that, when you're slumped down, you can't fully express yourself. So whatever this great turmoil that's going on in the world is an invitation to right a lot of the wrongs that have been going on. And so what's the last message with this flower of life? Because we come from that. Oh wow, deep. This flower of life can give us a lesson. There's a lesson here for us to teach. What is the lesson? Are we here, or do we understand? Because 4 and 6 is 10. Whatever this, and 3 and 36 is a 9. So we're hoping when this is done, we can be at the end of this cycle of what's been going on, affecting us at our DNA level. If we can go through and do all these things that have been given to us, suggested to us to help us heal ourselves, if we can learn from this lesson and that we can share with others. And I think that's part of what's going on right now. People are actually being shown what's going on, and it's being shown in a passionate way. What is the shape in here? It's a lot of them here, but I'm trying to focus in on. 1, 2, 3. It's actually showing the seed of life. In this deck, it's not as clear, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6, and it's 1 in the center. That is actually the seed. Have we healed this seed? Can we heal this seed? I think we can. Not only think, I know we can. But our ancestor is here showing us to see if we can learn our lesson this go round. And if we can do that, we will have infinite wisdom that's what's going here. There's an invitation for infinite wisdom with this situation that's going on in the world. And you're being charged, you're being pushed, you're being forced to deal with it. You're being forced to deal with it. You're being forced because this is 42 is a 6. This is the seed of life right here. You're being forced to begin focusing on this nucleus, you know, these cycles, all these cycles. And if we can get it right, after it's all said and done, the 35 is at 8, we'll be able to look back and see if we've been successful. This is a dodecahedron, and I want to look at this. This is 35. What does it say? Divine thought. With this card connects you with divine thought and asks you to contemplate the truth of universal oneness. And that's interesting because I wanted to say I saw flags. Look, you know, you're not, but this is everybody. Everybody's flag in the world color is activated here. Everybody is shown here. It might not be in the way that you really understand it, but it's here. Yeah. Divine thought. What lesson are you learning from this divine thought of what's going on? Let me, since I'm pulling out 42. Core issues. This is considered core issues. And like I said, the core issue is right at the seed. This core issue of not being equal, not being treated fairly for centuries. It's a core issue. It's a core issue. And so are we going to learn the lesson? Are we going to heal this flower? You're invited to search within yourself to understand and obtain this infinite wisdom for yourself. Alrighty. I'm hoping that this message will work, you know, will give you another way to look at things. I'm still going to do the other cards, but this was I wanted to come and look at this from a different way. And it was just interesting that, you know, before I decided to do this, I listened to Sophia Charles's, her last reading, and her frustration of what she's been experiencing in her world, you know, with what's going on in the community. And so I just wanted to come and give a different spin on things and go from there. I'm hoping that you enjoy this message, that you can take some information from it and apply it to your life. Thank you for stopping by Healing Conversations. Peace.